Hi, welcome to my Makeup Monday for Monday the 21st of October 2024. My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast. And I've just realised what a mess I've got over there in that corner. So I'm going to try and hide it. Today I'm going to do a technique. It's called Emboss Resist and it's a really cool technique. It's probably something that you've all seen before, but if not, it could be new to you, so that might be good. So let's go down to the craft desk and we can get started. Okay, I'm going to use this background stamp from the annual catalogue. It's called the Leaf Collection, and background stamps are large stamps, so it's just one stamp, really large. Just remembered I need my Versamark ink. So that's what I'm going to use today. These are a couple of samples that I've made. This one I did with clear embossing powder. I probably can't see it too well. I'll just bring it up a little bit. I used clear embossing powder on white cardstock, and I just used my blending brush with what ink was still left on it. I didn't reload the blending brush, and that's what that looks like. So that was just with whatever ink was left on my red blending brush. And this is one where I re-inked my blending brush with cherry cobbler, and this was white embossing powder. So they sort of have the same effect. There's not a lot of difference, although with the clear ink you do get a whiter background from if you're doing it on white cardstock, you get a whiter background. With the white ink it does take on a little bit of the colour of the ink off the blending brush. But yeah, so I thought I'd do this again. I thought I'd make two cards again, one with whatever ink is left on my blending brush, and then I'll re-ink it and do it heavier so it's a darker card. So let me just grab, I foolishly put my embossing powders away, trying to tidy up my desk. That's clear and that's white. So we'll do a clear and we'll do a white just to sort of do the same. And I need my heat tool kit, so I need that. That's my little brush. Okay, so I'll just get that ready, and I've got my two pieces of cardstock, so we'll do one at a time. And now with a background stamp, if you've got Stamparatus from before, you can certainly use that. If you've got the glass mat, I don't put the stickers on the back of my big background stamps. There's a reason for that. I totally stuffed up one background stamp once because I couldn't get the sticker on straight, and I tried to peel it off and it was a disaster. So if you've got the glass mat, you can just put your stamp straight onto your glass mat and it'll be quite firm. I'll move it up because I think it's not quite visual on my camera. Alright, so we'll do one, and then actually let's move it over a fraction so I've got room to play with this. I'm going to get a little piece of paper for the blending. So, okay, now I want to use my embossing buddy. So embossing buddy is just a little pillow that's sort of got like powder, talcum powder kind of in it, and that just stops you getting embossing powder where you don't want it. It helps stop you getting embossing powder where you don't want it. I'm using Versamark, which is a sticky ink, and I'm going to ink up my stamp, And I'm going to use clear embossing powder, so you won't actually be able to see very well what I'm doing. But let's just have a play. Okay, so let me grab a piece of paper, because that's okay. So I've got my white cardstock here. I'm going to put it face down, and I've got a quarter of a piece of A4, and this is what I want my paper for. I'm just going to put it over the top. But if you've got the old Stamparatus, I have mine, it's in a drawer somewhere, you can certainly use that. It's a stamp positioning tool, but I find this works, especially if you've got the glass mat. Okay, so I'm just rubbing over the back of my cardstock to get the Versamark ink onto my cardstock, making sure it's all over. Okay. Okay. Oops, still got a little bit of red from my previous plays. That might be problematic, but you never know. So we're going to use clear. So I'll lift that up. You can probably see, you maybe not. You can see a little bit of a red tinge down here. You probably can't really see that image is on there, but I promise it is. And I'm going to use my clear embossing powder. I'm just going to sprinkle it all over this inked up piece of cardstock. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that around just so I can get it on this over here as well. And just gonna, if you feel you've missed any, you can certainly apply some more powder. I think I've missed a little bit down here, so I'll put a little bit more down there and down here. That bit of red is because I haven't cleaned my stamp properly, which is a bit annoying, but anyway. Now I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera. Oh, there you go. You can see that the clear embossing powder has attached itself to the Versamark ink. So I'm going to put that down there. And this is the heat toolkit, which is really great. I love it. So I'm going to just put this back into my little container. It's the best thing. It saves you making too much of a mess. You can still make a mess, but it does help from making too much of a mess. There we go. So you get the little brush with this toolkit, and you also get the tweezers. And I just think there's a little bit more that could go back in there. There we go. And you get the embossing buddy. So you get 4 things: the tray, the brush, the tweezers, and the embossing buddy. And it's around $48, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so I'm going to actually lift this back up and pop it in my tray. Now I will heat emboss, and I might speed the video up and turn the volume down so you don't have to listen to the noise. Okay, now I'll lift that up. It's a little bit hard when you do this on a video because you can't really see what I'm doing because I've used clear embossing powder, but that is embossed, I promise. I promise. So let's move that to one side. That's the white. I want to use that. I'll move that over. Now what we're going to do is get rid of all that grit. Just like when you've been to the beach and you come home and you just have sand everywhere. Okay, So I'm going to grab my blue embossing brush, not embossing brush, my blue blending brush. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm not going to re-ink it, I'm just going to go over it, and you'll see the pattern starting to come, hopefully. I'll hold it up once we get a bit further into it. Can you see that that's starting to show through? So I'm turning it round and I'm just using what ink is on my brush. Okay, I'm just pressing a little bit harder to get a bit more ink out of the brush without having to reload it. Need muscles. I don't have muscles. Okay, you can see that it's starting to come together. And it's even covered up where that stamp wasn't, what do I want to say? Where it wasn't clean, very clean. Can you see how that's come together? Okay, so that's so what's happened is the Versamark ink, the clear ink, has been stamped onto the white cardstock. I've put the clear embossing powder over the top, so that's why the leaves are white, because it's the base of the card that's coming through. Now what you can do is get a tissue and you can make those even whiter. So you can polish off the ink that's gone onto the heat embossed leaves and they will come whiter. So let me just polish them off. Just a tissue or a paper towel, that's all you need to do a bit of polishing. Just turn that over. This is a really cool technique. Heat embossing was the first technique I ever saw, and that's when I fell in love making, because I just loved how cool it was to see these images come alive. So just polishing off this, and I tend to make my cardstock a little bit bigger than what I want to start with, so I can trim it down. Okay, so now the leaves are really white and are really shining through now. So let's put that to one side and make up a card. So I've got boho blue card matting piece and a basic white, thick basic white card base for this card. So where's my, there it is, my bone folder. Although, when I think about it, that blue doesn't look very basic, boho blue, does it? You know what, I think we'd be better off with, instead of boho blue, I think we'd be better off with my Misty Moonlight, maybe. Let's have a think about that. Let's grab some Misty Moonlight. See, sometimes you just got to go with the flow. Or maybe we should go Balmy Blue. Balmy Blue, where are you? There you go. It's definitely more Balmy Blue than Boho Blue. So we could go, or we could go Contrast. Let's go Contrast. Yes, let's go Contrast. And we'll use our Boho Blue for something else. So when you're doing techniques, you do have to sort of work this out as you go, because sometimes the colour doesn't come out the way you were expecting it to, so it's best to be flexible. Okay, so let's get okay, so that's going to be our matting piece. Now I need to cut down our embossed panel of cardstock, so I'm going to see how there's still a little bit of, I don't know if you can see, there is a little bit of a red tinge there. So I want this panel to be 9.5 centimeters, and I'm just going to trim these edges down, and then I'll make the panel 13.9 centimeters, like so. And I tend to hang on to that piece because I can trim up the inside of my card if I like. Okay, so I think that's going to look good. Now, I had got some die cuts from my Use It Up box, but I don't think that Celebrate's going to look right. I think, not sure. Let's just put this together and see how we go. I'm hoping that hubby and I have got my computer working properly again, and all the problems I've been having has not been from my streaming platform. It's been from the update, a Windows update, which has actually affected my browser, my Google browser, Chrome browser. Does that make sense? Let me turn this over and just press that down. So all these problems that I've been having, it's just been painful. But anyway, we're nearly, hopefully we may have got to the end of them. Okay, so that's what our Emboss Resist with clear embossing powder. I'm just wondering whether to go landscape or to go portrait. Let's have a look. Okay, now this is my little banners and die cuts that I have that I just sort of hang on to. And these are from, I think it's Thoughtful Moments embossing, hybrid embossing folder. I think that's what it's called. Maybe the Celebrate will look alright. Oops, sorry, I'm down too low. Let's have a look. Maybe the Celebrate would look alright. I think it actually does. So let's pop these ones back in here. But yeah, these are my pre-cut dies and things that I just have it in a little container, and if I need something, I just grab the container to see if it's already in there. So let's pop that back. Maybe that Celebrate looks good. And I thought, so this is my one that I didn't reload my brush. I'm going to do this landscape. I thought maybe I'll put this lovely iridescent ribbon around it before I attach it to the card base. So let's just sort that out. It's so pretty, this ribbon. I think I've got my camera, my webcam set too low because I'm doing too many things down too low. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of not snail, what do you call this stuff? Seal on the bottom of my card matting piece, and I'm going to attach my piece of ribbon and bring it around. Make sure it's straight. I quite often don't get things straight when I do that. No, see, I've made that worse. Let's just see how we go here. Hang on. Okay, I think that looks quite good. So we shall. You can see how when you use a background stamp, it makes an easy, quick card because it takes up the whole background. Makes sense, really, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to pop that down like so onto my card base. And as I said, this is from, I'm pretty sure it's Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder, and you die cut words. I might do a video with that and you can see how that works. So I'm going to put it on an angle because I think that looks really nice on an angle. So let me grab some dimensionals. Oops, I'm nearly to the end of these little dimensionals. I'm going to pop it up. Now, where's my other little pack? Put that there. And I just use my edges and I just cut a little sliver, and sometimes I use those slivers on a part of a die that needs just a sliver. Okay, so just get the backing off. Now there's still some promotions going on for the month of October. There's the joining special, so you can pay $169 and join and get $286 worth of product. It's a super good special, and be part of my team. Or what else is there? There's the kits sale. The kits are on sale for 30% off, and for the month of October. And there's also Close to My Heart, which is a scrapbooking company that Stamping Up have consolidated with, and all the Close to My Heart products are now online in the online store and are also 30% off until sold out. I think that's pretty good. Okay, let's just cut our little... This is the iridescent striped ribbon, and it's just beautiful. It's in the annual catalogue. Really beautiful ribbon. My tails are too long, so I do have to trim those down, so I shall do that. And now I'm going to grab a glue dot and put that on with a glue dot over here. And I'm going to grab another glue dot. Can and just tuck it underneath just to secure that ribbon down. There we go. Put those away. So that is our first card, Emboss Resist with clear embossing powder. Oh, we've got to put bling on it. Goodness. Goodness. So let's have a look. We could do iridescent pearls, but I think they might get a little bit lost. I'm sure I've got some Misty Moonlight bling. Here we go. The Tinsel Gems have Misty Moonlight, and I think they might look quite good. Let's have a look. Oh yes, I think they'll look nice. So I'll put one there, one down here, because this matting piece is Misty Moonlight, and maybe one up here. So that's card number 1. Pop those in there. And if you don't have that Thoughtful Moments embossing folder, hybrid embossing folder, you could use the ephemera packs that have got the pre-printed sentiments saying something ephemera pack. You could use that on these cards. They're another great way of making your cards nice and easy. So that's our first card. It's come out quite nice. So that could be a birthday card, could be anything. So that's that one. So let's put that one to one side while we make another one. Let me think. Probably should give this a bit of a clean. So I'll get my chamois, wherever I put that. Yes. And we'll just give it a bit of a clean, and I've got to move it up. I think I'll have to adjust my camera because all my settings, when I had to take my webcam out of its holder the other day for my live, I had to try and set it all back up. So okay, so that's nice and clean. Here's our next piece of paper, so we shall just do Embossing Buddy on that. Okay, put that there, and now we'll get our ink again, Versamark ink, our stick ink, and we're going to use white embossing powder this time. So just ink up your whole background stamp. There we go. It's the clear sticky ink. And we're going to lift this up and pop it straight down. and grab a piece of paper and just smooth it over. Make sure we've get all the ink onto our piece of cardstock. Okay, you can't see it, there kind of. You can see the ink is on the cardstock. So once again, I'll move this off my mat. And I'll bring my toolkit back in. And this one is the white embossing powder. So I'm just going to sprinkle that all over our stamped image. And if you've missed any, you can just add a little bit more. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. I might just need my little brush here. I have got some where I don't want it, but I probably will be trimming that down. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so can you see that that is on our cardstock? That's the white embossing powder this time. So it doesn't look that much difference to the clear, but that's white embossing powder on the Versamark ink. So let me just put that to one side while I put this back into my little jar. So these are the new Wow embossing powders in the annual catalogue. I guess they're not that new now. And they do emboss really well compared to the old embossing powder. So if you've got embossing powder that doesn't emboss very well at the moment, I actually think embossing powder has a lifespan. I actually threw a whole lot of embossing powder out not so long ago because it wasn't doing what it should do. But if you've got embossing powder that's not doing what you think it should do, throw it out and get this new Wow stuff. It's really good. Okay, so I'm going to heat emboss this again, so I will speed up the video and turn the volume down so you don't have to listen to the noise. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, it's heat embossed and it looks lovely. So we're going to get rid of our little embossing tray now because we've done everything we need to do. Put that back under here. I'm going to get rid of the grit. Even though you've got the tray and you know you sweep it back into the little pot, you still get grit. Okay, so now what I'm going to do will probably horrify you. I'm going to get my Night of Navy ink pad and I'm going to reload my brush, my blending brush, and I'm pushing it up higher. Okay, so and now I am going to put this darker color, because I've reloaded my brush with the ink, onto my embossed image. And I'll lift that up. You can see that that's coming along. I'm going to turn it around and I'm just going to go for it. And I'm going to make it much darker than the first one, and that's because I'm reloading the ink onto the brush. Oops. It's sticking to my fingers. I could keep going and make it a lot darker because I'm going to then polish it off the embossed image. There we go. I think that's probably enough. Close up our Night of Navy ink before we get into trouble and pop my brush away. So now I'm going to get another tissue and I'm going to polish. And the ink is resisting. It's coming off where we've heat embossed. Does that make sense? I hope I'm explaining this and doing this and it's making sense to people. Hope so. It's just a really cool technique. As I said, heat embossing was the first technique I ever saw and I still love it. It's still one of my favorite techniques. That should do it. Mainly because I've got no more muscles. No, let's just try a little bit more down here. Okay, that should do it. And see, you get inky fingers, but that's part of the fun. Okay. I am going to cut this down to 9.5 centimeters. And what else am I doing? Cutting it down. I'll cut it. I think I'll cut this side because I've missed a little bit up here, so I think I'll cut this side off. 9.5, and then I'll trim these little rough edges off because, as I said, I make my cardstock a little bit bigger, so I've got a little bit of leeway with it. And now we'll cut it down to 13.9. Okay, that will fit onto our panel of white cardstock. Okay, so that's going to go on a matting piece of basic white. How cool. And this is Night of Navy card base. I'll just make sure, yep, so I'll just score that at 10.5. Oh, I've just gone over half an hour, so I'll try and wind this up. I like to keep my videos to half an hour because then, you know, some people don't have a lot of time and you don't want to sit there and watch boring stuff. So let's see what we think going this way. I have got this gorgeous navy and gold ribbon, Night of Navy and Gold ribbon from the annual catalogue. So I thought I'd use that. So let's attach our embossed image to our matting piece. And it's not a Christmas stamp, this leaf background stamp, leaf collection it's called. It's definitely not Christmas, but you can make any stamp pretty much. You can turn it into a Christmas card. And that's what I like to try and show you, that you don't have to use, you don't have to have Christmas stamps. I'm going to just turn that over. I mean, of course, there's some stamps that aren't Christmassy, but it's amazing how you can repurpose a lot and make them into a Christmas card. See, I made this one into a Christmas card. Maybe because it's red and white, I don't know, that looks more Christmassy, but I think it's pretty good. Now just going to straighten that up. No, I'm not. It's too late. That'll do. So I've got this gorgeous gold and navy ribbon. So I am going to do portrait or landscape. And which I haven't got that straight on my card matting piece, which is a little bit annoying. So let's go this way. Or should I go down? I'm just trying to work out which one's not going to notice as much. I think that way's probably better. So I wasn't concentrating and I let that get away from me. Not to worry. So a bit of seal on the back to hold our ribbon in place. So I'm just going to do that and bring it across and make sure it's straight. That looks pretty straight. And now I just want to work out what kind of banner I want to put on my blue Christmas card. So I've used the I stamped the Christmas this time and die cut it and stamped that little one. Well, shall we do that again? Will it fit though across a portrait card? Oh, look, it will just. Okay, let's do that. So let's get our Christmas and pop it on our block and get our navy. Where's our navy? Here it is. And I'll do Happy Christmas this time. I don't normally do Happy Christmas, but let's do Happy Christmas. And then we can quickly die cut. So I haven't used the Happy before, so I'm just going to get all the oils off it. Okay. So I'm going to, nope. So I'll ink this one up first. Make sure it gets good coverage of ink all over it. And I'm just going to press it down. That's pretty nice. It's stamped so nicely. And this is the little Happy, which is going to go with this banner. And oh, there it is. So let's put this up here and we'll cut them both out together. So let's pop this away. Whoops. There's our two stamps. So let me just quickly bring my die cutting machine in and we can cut these out. So I've gone over because I have made 2 cards today. So let me grab another bit of tape. The bonus is my technology is working at the moment, so I better not speak too soon, but okay, so just line that up as best I can. That looks pretty good, and I'm going to line that up and grab my top plate. I hope that's lined up. I think that moved. I don't want it to move. Yes, it did move. Look at that, you little naughty thing. I think that's... I'm just trying to get it right so that it doesn't cause me grief. Okay. Right. Fingers crossed. Here we go. Get rid of our die cutting machine. Okay, bring our card back in. Whoops. There's our Happy. Oh, I don't think I lined that up very well. It will have to do. That's a little bit off, but that's okay. We can manage. We could get our paper snips and just trim that around a bit. So if you misalign your die, you can just sort of do this. Bit of doctoring. bit of surgery. Surgery is good. It's just a couple of them that make it look a little bit obvious, so I just want to tidy those up. You know what, the rest is not too bad. So that was only minor surgery. Okay, so we're going to put that there. I'm going to put this here, get rid of that. Okay, and I do want to do a bit more of a bow with this. So this is a little bit stiff to do a bow, but I really would like a bow. So let's just see how we go. This is carried over from a really lovely suite from last Christmas, and it's just stunning ribbon. But I'm not sure if a bow is going to work for me, so let's attach these things first and then see how we go. Maybe that's a good idea. Oh, I'm down to the last few. I will have to get some more out. Or just use some of the ends. Yes. Where's my this one? I'm trying to rush now, so that's not working for me. So always use the sides of your dimensionals, because they work just as well. Okay, so that's our Mary. Let's put our Mary on and get that happening. I was probably too ambitious to do 2 cards, but anyway, that's the way it goes. Okay, happy. Okay, now this one is going to get some little side bits, because I should have got a new sheet of the smaller ones out, but I didn't. I forgot. So just a little tiny slither of a one for here. Okay. Come on. Okay, so I shall pop that there, move it over a fraction. I will pop this onto my card base, and then I will figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of the ribbon. Where's my glue gone? Here it is. Okay. So I do apologise that I've gone over. I should have just made one card, but anyway, I'll finish off quickly. There we go. And how nice does it look? And it's not a traditional Christmas card. It's not. Okay, let's grab some and just tie. Just tie a little tie. Oh, look, when I'm trying to rush, nothing goes quickly. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Make our little tails sort of do a dance. And then I'll grab a glue dot and put that underneath my ribbon so it stays secure. And I think we need gold bling because of the gold in the ribbon. The same as this card. I used gold bling on that one because of the gold in the ribbon. And I'm going to go for the same bling. These are the Blooming Pearls. And there's Petal Pink, Pretty Peacock, Garden Green and Gold. And I just really like these gold bling. I might put that one down there, and I'm going to put two little ones same place on the banner as I did on that one, because it just seems to be exactly perfect for them. There we go. How simple. Bit of ribbon, emboss resist, and you have a beautiful cards. So let's find all our cards. So these two were with what ink was left on my brushes, on my blending brushes. I didn't re-ink. I just used what was left on them. These two, I re-inked my blending brush with the Cherry Cobbler and with the Night of Navy. And how good do they look? And as I said, it's not a Christmas stamp, but it still looks quite good. Got to move them up. So, and as I said, with the offcut, you can, that's my little note, white embossing powder, you can trim up the inside of your card with your offcut. And that decorates the inside of your card. I didn't on this one, but I've got some little bits of offcut I could put on the inside of my cards here. So I really hope you enjoyed that technique today. So let's just quickly, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that technique and found it really interesting. I love Emboss Resist. It's so nice. So have a great week, everyone, and I will see you on Wednesday at 3 o'clock for Card and a Cuppa. Bye for now.